Many people have tried to argue the existence of God, but what's the best way to know that God really does exist? Well, in today's video, we're gonna find out. What's up guys, welcome back to another video on my channel where I am in a constant search for the truth, and in today's video we're going to look at the best arguments to prove, or at least evidence, for the existence of God. Now, there have been a ton of different arguments for the existence of God, which I do not have time for, and I'm sorry, but I will tell you 3 of the best ones that I've ever heard to prove the existence of God, and I'm going to share them with you guys today. We're going to start with number 1, which is objective morality. I think that this is a very good place to start because everyone has morals, everyone thinks about stuff, and everyone has feelings. The idea of morality is knowing the difference between right and wrong, good and bad. A lot of people are taught, or maybe they just come up with the conclusion all on their own, but a lot of people come to the conclusion that morality is up to the people that you are around and the culture that you live in. Basically, if it's normal in your culture to beat up someone that you don't like, then that's right. If your culture says that it's normal and everyone is doing that, that is what's morally correct. Now, to add to this, there is also people who believe in moral relativism, or they're moral relativists, meaning that they believe that morals are whatever this one individual person thinks is right. But this ideology can have a lot of holes poked in it pretty quickly if you just think about it a little bit. Firstly, I do not believe that you truly can be a moral relativist, because if you really truly are a moral relativist, then you have to admit that it would not be wrong if someone came up and stole your wallet. It doesn't benefit you, but who cares? They just got some money and they didn't have to work for it. That benefits them, so to them, that's morally correct. If you're a moral relativist, you have to accept the fact that it wouldn't be wrong if someone were to just go and assault an innocent person just because they really had some pent-up anger that day. Now, it doesn't really benefit the person that's getting assaulted, but who cares? It benefits the person that had a little bit of pent-up anger that day, and it made them feel much better. It is obviously very wrong to go up and steal someone's wallet and then beat them up. The reason it's wrong is because God did not create us to steal from each other and beat each other up. He created us to love each other and care for each other. And I believe that deep down, everyone knows this. Everyone knows that there is objective morals. Things that are absolutely wrong. Even if it benefits us, they're still wrong. And people will try to deny this just so that they can go live whatever life they want to live, regardless of what the Bible says, but they feel guilt, and they know that what they did was wrong, and they try to deny it, but objective morals do exist, and it's a very big arrow pointing right to God. Okay, now this second point doesn't have so much to do with an individual person, but more so with everything, which is number 2, the universe. If you are not a believer in God, then you're most likely a believer in something called the Big Bang. The Big Bang is the theory that the universe was created from a singularity. If you don't know what a singularity basically means when something reaches an infinite value. In this case, all of the matter in the universe. Meaning that out of all the mass in the universe, it was compacted to 0. And if you have something that is equal to 0, that means that it was infinite. All of the mass was so tight together that it equaled 0, meaning infinitely dense. This infinite density was so hot and so pressurized because you have so much in such a tiny space, actually a 0 amount of space like they say, that it created a bunch of heat and a bunch of pressure, and that had to go somewhere, so it exploded. According to the Big Bang Theory, that was the creation of the universe. Okay, there's a couple problems with this theory, but starting with this one, which is the biggest one, I have not found a single source that could trace it back further than all of the matter was infinitely dense. Where did the matter come from? They never explain where the matter originally came from. They just say that at the beginning of time, all of the matter was infinitely dense. But where did the matter come from? They don't know. Secondly, how did all of this matter just explode and randomly end up in perfect harmony? For example, if the sun was 10% closer than it is now to the Earth would be a flaming fireball and we would all be dead. Everything would be dead. And conversely, if the Earth was 10% further away from the sun, it would all be an ice ball. But somehow, out of this Big Bang random explosion, the sun and Earth are in perfect distance from each other to where we are not incinerated instantly, and we're also not an ice ball. We are a cool 75 degrees. And even the Earth itself, not even the Earth's relation to the sun, which is obviously very important, but the Earth itself, the only planet that we have observed with all of our crazy telescopes that could see literally different galaxies, have not found a single other planet that is capable of even harboring life at all. Like this weed, for example. This is the only planet in the entire universe that we've found that is capable of even having that weed, let alone my brain, my human brain that's able to comprehend and think about all of this stuff. Isn't it kind of a weird sheer luck coincidence that Earth just happens to be in the perfect place between the sun and capable to harbor life and have all this water and me and all these birds and everything? That's just luck out of this random explosion? Come on. Also, this planet just so happens to be able to harbor life, but it also has every material that we could ever need. Have you ever thought about that? Like, think about Bluetooth. Bluetooth didn't come from some magical, mystical universe land. No, it came from the ground. Humanity went from building mud houses to now you can talk to someone who's on the other side of the earth using a supercomputer that fits inside of your pocket with a speaker that's connected to the supercomputer that fits inside of your pocket that's transmitting ultra high frequency radio waves and receiving them and playing them as sound at the same time as you're literally live listening to someone all the way across the earth. That supercomputer and that ultra high frequency waves and all of that stuff just happens to be here that we can use. And that's all just sheer luck somehow. Going back to the universe, I mean, there is not a single piece of art in the entire world. Literally name one. Starry Night? Nope, does not compare to the incredible perfection and complexity of the universe. Oh, Mona Lisa? Not even close. The universe is so beautifully harmonious and so perfectly complex that it blows any art piece out of the water. Yet, if you look at a beautiful painting like the Mona Lisa or Starry Night, you look at these paintings and you go, wow, this was made by such an incredible artistic genius. But you look at the universe that blows all of that out of the water and you just go, yeah, that's random. That just happened somehow from some random explosion. Come on, man. Obviously, with the incredible complexities of the universe, it had to have been created by something. And that something is God. Okay, sorry I got a little bit frustrated on that one, but this one, the final point that I have for you guys, is probably the best, one of the best at least, forms to try to point to the existence of God. And it's sad because this one is not really talked about by a lot of people, which is, number 3, math. Now I know, math, what does that have to do with proving the existence of God, or at least evidence for the existence of God? Well, let me explain. Firstly, math is made up of numbers, and numbers are something that's intangible. I mean, you have symbols that we write down to represent numbers, but numbers themselves are not actually tangible. They don't exist. They only exist in your mind. And there's this one super cool number called pi. And pi is 3.141592653, go on and on and on. But that is the calculation number for explaining the area or the circumference of a circle. Pi is something called an irrational number, meaning it's something that cannot be shown or written as a ratio of two integers. To put it a little bit more simply, pi is a fraction that goes on forever, without ever repeating itself. 3.141592653 continue on forever. Forever, literally forever. It never ends. Meaning that if we were to change out the numbers and use the numbers for code for letters, that means that somewhere in pi, there is every single book, every single article, every single note that you've ever written in a notebook, written in perfect order, verbatim, somewhere in pi. And not just every book, article, and note ever written that has been written, but that ever will be written. And you could literally do this with anything, not just books and just writings, but let's say if you used all of the numbers in pi for code for location and distance of trees, That means that somewhere encoded in pi, there is an exact copy of every single tree on Earth and its exact location relative to where I'm at right now, somewhere encoded in pi. If you just changed numbers to location and distance of planets in the universe, you could literally find an exact copy of every planet in the universe somewhere encoded in pi. This one mathematical constant has infinite information in it, meaning that math is infinite. Like numbers, you can count infinitely. You can never stop counting. Math and numbers go on infinitely, meaning that math cannot be contained inside of our universe because our universe is finite. It has an end somewhere and it has a beginning somewhere. But math has infinite information, meaning that the infinite cannot be contained in the finite. It cannot be confined to the universe because it's infinite, meaning it's outside of the universe. It contains infinite knowledge and knows everything. It can explain how everything in the universe works, meaning that it's infinitely powerful. And math doesn't exist physically, which means that it has to be only a mind, something that is metaphysical. This is all a description of God. So, how can something be infinitely knowledgeable, infinitely powerful, infinitely beyond the universe, and infinitely present? Well, it was created by God. According to Galileo, math is the language in which God has written the universe. Math proves the existence of a God, but it doesn't prove which God is the real God. If you want to know that, click on this video right here on the screen and you'll find out. But anyways, that's about it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. If you did, leave me a comment down below. If you have any other questions about the existence of God or just God in general, leave those in the comments down below as well. But like I said, with that, that's about it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.